All right, welcome to Pet Nation with John Muller. I am your host, and this is our first inaugural broadcast. History being made here, Pet Nation with John Muller. We're really looking forward to it. We're going to address all kinds of pet issues on different episodes, and we're going to start really from the beginning today. What you should consider before you have a pet. And we have a real expert for you, Katy Hansen from Animal Care Centers of New York City. Katy, you are going to be a fixture on this show, so welcome.
Thank you very much.
You, in your job, you see it all. You see people come in and they get a pet, and I bet you some of your red flags even go up sometimes. Do these people really consider it? I'm sure you have to point things out. People bring pets back all the time because they didn't consider things. So let's take it from the top. I'd like to get a cat. I'd like to get a dog. What do I really need to consider if I'm a first-time pet owner?
And it's a really good question, and I'm really glad you're bringing it up because definitely people come in and they think it's just going to be easy and like I want a cat or I'll take this one. Luckily, we have really experienced cat adoption counselors and dog adoption counselors. We do something called open adoptions, which is we talk to people. What is your lifestyle? How often are you home? How many people do you have in your house? Who's going to be helping? Are you
Support system. What happens when you're sick?
exactly?
What happens when you're on vacation?
Exactly. What happens when you go to work? Do you have really young kids that might not know how to deal with an animal? Things like that. And are you comfortable doing having your animal in a cage while you're away?
Well, you just pick my brain. The first time I heard people say you should get a crate for your puppy, I thought, putting the puppy in the crate, that sounds terrible, sounds torturous. But most dog experts will tell you it's a wonderful way. And I know from a fact, I didn't do it with my last two dogs, but my first dog who was a puppy, they love that crate. That's their safe space.
Exactly. It really is. It's like, when we get home and we want to just snuggle up in our bed, that's what it's like. And it's the perfect way to make sure that they don't urinate or defecate in your apartment or house. So there is a lot to be considered.
Yes.
And, that's another reason that we suggest people go to our website first.
Ah,
To
great.
take a look at the animals, because we write bios that are, showcase who these animals are.
And maybe first time owners don't know it. The dog you might have had as a kid or something, or the cat you had as a kid, they're all different. I mean, they're the same in a
Right?
lot of ways, but they're like people. They're all really different.
Exactly. And we've gotten to know them while they're in the shelter. So we're able to write a bio that says, you know what, this dog pulls a little hard on the leash, or this dog loves to chase squirrels, things like that. So we know.
I gotta be honest with you, my last dog that I adopted, from a shelter down on the Jersey Shore, who, actually was my second to last dog, um, boy, oh boy, they gave me the 3rd degree, and I'm like, "I've owned dogs before." You must see it all the time, and, I was that guy who's just like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, listen and listen." But they go through their spiel and, I mean, it's definitely important for
Well, there's a
most
happy medium.
dogs. There's a happy
There's a happy medium.
Yeah, I
I mean,
felt like
there's
I was, applying for the FBI or something.
right? Yeah, exactly. And there definitely are people that are like, I've been trying to adopt from different rescues and they want to do a home visit and they want to see the setup and they want to, as a city shelter, we take in, 15 to 20,000 animals a year. Doing home visits are just, we're not able to do that.
Right.
So we really rely on a conversational based counseling. And that's why our adoption counselors are so good because they can kind of see the red flags also.
Right.
We also do a whole little session, a Zoom session after the animal has gone to the home.
Oh, that's great.
How are things going?
That's great.
How, are you having any difficulties? How are they adjusting to the
Zoom is
food?
especially good.
It's so good,
Yeah, that's
right?
great, great.
It's the only good thing that came out of COVID was everyone's now using Zoom, which
Without
is
a doubt,
great.
without a doubt. Someday you'll zoom in and you won't have to come in here some days to feel a little lazy and you don't wanna come down to Pix, Studios. Let's Pix 11 Plus Studios. It's been beat in my head. We now say Pix 11 Plus Studios. Let's start with some of these practical things. You're a working person. How, maybe you've never owned let's start with a dog. You've never owned a dog before. How many hours a day can you leave the dog alone in in good faith without really being cruel to the dog? Can you leave a dog alone for 8 hours and expect to come home and have a functioning, healthy pet? And tell me.
This is such a layup question,
Uh,
by the way. So thank you for asking it because a lot of people will say, well, I work during the day and that's not fair to the dog to leave them alone during the day.
right.
To which we would say, it's better than being in a tiny kennel 24/7.
Right.
So, A, that's okay. You know, 8 hours is kinda pushing it, but it's okay, if they're crate trained. So, I would say that if you're working and you're afraid of that, you really shouldn't be. These pets just they want a home. They
Right.
don't wanna be stuck in a kennel 24/7. And then you'll also find out, while you're there, how are they reacting? How are
Right.
they adjusting to the crate?
We're going to take a little break. I want to come back and talk about like a dog walker, for instance. A lot of people don't even know they exist. They're not that expensive. They come in, oh, I don't want somebody in my apartment. They're pros. They've been doing it for years. They're vetted. They come in, they walk your dog, and it's only 4 hours that the dog's in the crate. And they go to Central Park for 20 minutes, and
Exactly.
you spend $20, and everybody's happy. We'll talk about that when we come back
Okay.
after the break. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. Let's pick it back up. So somebody says, well, even though you told me 8 hours isn't necessarily a deal breaker, I just couldn't live with myself, but you can get people to help you.
Yeah, they're called dog walkers. And
It's a
there's a
simple thing, but I didn't
e
know they existed until I knew.
exactly. And you see them on the street, like, I think in New York City, you're probably more apt to see that they're, "Oh, the person's walking 5 dogs."
It's the
Um,
person, exactly.
yeah, and they're not that expensive. They're usually local based. I mean, if you bring your dog to the park, you're gonna that's where your best friends are gonna be, by the way. When I had a dog, like, I'm all my best friends, they all had dogs and you meet in the park. It's amazing. You might even meet your next partner. So, and then you can ask
That's an
around.
episode. Having
Yeah.
having a pet to meet your significant other.
Exactly. Um, and so you ask around, "Who walks your dog? Who walks your dog?" And so it's usually based in the neighborhood and they're picking up friends. And so then you don't have to worry about the like, "Oh, it's 8 hours straight." It's 4 hours,
Yeah.
depending on when you get the dog walker.
Let me
So
share a silly anecdote. I was in the park with my dog Otis back at the time, my first dog. And, people would go, "Hey," and I thought, "Oh, they know me from Channel 11. They're saying hey to me. I'm John Muller, anchorman." And I started to realize they're not saying hello to me, they're saying hello to Otis because Otis would go to the park all the time with the dog walker. He had this whole world that I didn't know about, and he was a little celebrity. He was a cool dog, and
well,
everybody loved him.
yeah, I do admit that a lot of times I remember people's dogs' names and not their name.
They're just,
Hey.
"Hey."
Hey. Yeah.
Alright, so, we're back to can I really pull this off? Let's talk about weekends. People like to party. What if you're that person who's young in their 20s? You really love to have a dog, but hey, you know that you like to go out for happy hour or on Friday nights you're going out late and how do you talk about that a little.
Well, listen, let's say you're out and you wanna go home, and everyone's like, "No, you need to stay." You can always say, "I can't, I got the dog."
It's great.
So it's like there is the positive side to it.
Yes,
But again, dogs spend a lot of time sleeping.
they do.
So, not to burst your bubble or anything, but you aren't the entire world to them. They
Mhm.
need to get their rest.
Let's talk about cats. Give their cats their due. They're like I've never owned a cat. You do, so you're an expert. But they are much easier, I would imagine, than dogs. Or am I being naive?
No, you're not being naive at all. Cats are so self-sufficient.
Yeah.
That, sometimes when people come in, I probably shouldn't say it, but they come in, they say, I don't have enough time for this cat." It's kind of like, "What?"
Cat probably you come home, the cat's probably like, "Oh,
Oh
gross."
god, here they are. No, but cats are so full of love. That's the misnomer is that, "Oh, cats are so aloof." They aren't. They are so loving. Yeah, they're easy to have. You just need to change their litter box, put out food, give them treats, and play with them. I mean, they aren't totally self-sufficient. You need to play with them. They have that energy.
Yes.
But yeah, they are definitely an easy apartment cat.
Let's talk about costs. Oh, I'll get myself a dog or a cat. I'll go down to the shelter. It'll be relatively free, and we'll save that for our second episode about going to the shelter. But there are expenses. There's vet bills. There's food. It does add up. So, like, if somebody's considering that and they're on a tight budget, how much consideration should they give?
Yeah, they're definitely expensive, and sadly, um, vet costs have gone up 60% over the past 2 years, which is just unbelievable. So, you do have to prepare for that. One of the things you can do is get pet insurance. There definitely was a time where it was like, "Pet insurance, does that really do that much?" But it has come a long way, and they do cover a lot of things so you can get pet insurance. Pet food, yep, it's an expense, but again, you just put that into your budget, and the thing is that you get so much from it,
It's funny. That's where I wanted to go next.
right? It's so much cheaper than a therapist.
So true.
There you go, you're
Like,
saving money right there.
if you're considering getting a pet, you probably suspect this, or maybe you're going to get your second pet and it's been years since you had it. It just takes the edge off. You go home, you pet the dog, and the dog's waiting for you, and you
Right,
have a
tail is wagging.
tail is wagging, and
You've
you're
been
just like,
like
life is good.
exactly.
Yeah.
You've been doom scrolling, and you come home and you're just like, "Wow, someone really loves me." They're not questioning their love.
Yes. Joe, our producer over there, were you giving me the you better wrap up soon thing? Wow, our first
So
episode went
fast.
super fast.
I know, I could talk to you forever.
Well, we're gonna talk, we're gonna call it our second episode, but we're gonna talk about next. We'll go into your shelter. Oh, it'll be a breeze. I'll just walk in, I'll pick the dog out, I'll get out of there. Is it spayed? Is it neutered? Is it really truly free? I'm sure you guys have to, somehow pay the. So we'll get into I'm ready. I watched the Pix 11 Plus cast with John Muller, and I know I want to have a pet. So we'll talk about our next episode, where to go, what to expect, pure breed versus shelter dog. We know the answer to that. Shelter dog. But anyway, great first episode. I think we did pretty good for our baby
Thank you
step,
so
Katy.
much.
All right, Katy Hansen's going to be back for our second episode, and we hope you come back as well. I'm John Muller for Pet Nation. Have a great day.